Alright, so I decided I'm going to join the bandwagon since it's the end of the year. I'm going to give you my top 10 most anticipated fights in 2025. Not in order because I'm lazy, but I'm going to go through them. I'm going to tell you why I want to see them, who I favor in these fights, and potentially even give a date for when these fights could happen. So, first off, Manel Kape versus Kai Kara France. These two, I believe, I didn't mean to do that. Shoot. Get out of here. These two, I believe, were scheduled to fight in Australia, but the fight ended up being canceled because I forgot who got injured. But this, to me, is one of the most exciting fights the UFC can put on in flyweight. Now I know that Manel Kape is fighting Brandon Royval, and the winner of that is going to get a title shot. Both of them losing to Brandon Royval, Manel Kape in his debut. Brandon Royval losing, I think he's lost twice. So, still, flyweight is in that position, and we made a video on this where Pantoja has beat every contender there is. Steve Erceg was the only one that really gave him trouble, at least last one I can remember. But maybe if Manel Kape loses to Brendan Royval, we see this fight finally come to fruition. And this is in a division at flyweight that is beyond stacked. You know, Pantoja being 35, but being so dominant as an older guy in a younger weight class is nothing short of impressive. The only other person we have seen do that was Demetrius Johnson, who is the clear GOAT in the flyweight division. Moving on, we have Jose Aldo versus Dominic Cruz. This one is an obvious one, right? You got Jose Aldo, who was done so dirty by Mario Batista. Hopefully, I didn't write it down here, but hopefully they give Mario Batista a nightmare matchup off of that travesty that he did to Jose Aldo. Oh my god, they still have in ring 10. They should have Aldo above them. I don't care. But you have Aldo, who is one of the greatest featherweights of all time, was undefeated for 10 years, and in the latter half of his career, after being inducted into the Hall of Fame, he is very impressive. He had a really good fight with Marab, was able to show incredible takedown defense by Marab. He's always had good takedown defense. And then you had Dominic Cruz, who is older. I'm pretty sure Dominic Cruz. Excuse me. It's not a tactical video, it's an indigestion, you know this. But Dominic Cruz isn't ranked. He is an older guy. But I feel like if there's any fight to send two legends off on with a massive payday, it is Aldo versus Cruz. Now, if you guys don't know, Jose Aldo was undefeated for a decade before Conor beat him. He was in WEC, which had all the weight classes, and his reign of dominance was nothing short of impressive. And in some people's eyes, he is the GOAT. well, one of the GOATs of featherweight. Um, you always have Volkanovski, you have Max Holloway who knocked him out twice in the same round. You have Ilya Topuria now, which we will have to see what he does in his career. But I believe this is a perfect send off for two legends. Make it a main event on a fight night card, or throw it on a main event on a stack card, maybe International Fight Week, proper send off for the both of them. I know Dominick Cruz hasn't fought. I think in a few years. I think his last fight. What was that actually? Dominick Cruz. I'm blanking on who his last fight was. Dominick Cruz. He is 39. His last fight was the knockout from Marlon Vera. Okay. Jose Aldo is. He should be around the same age, right? Jose Aldo is 38. Both of these guys are at the end of their career. Both of these guys are Hall of Famers. Give us this fight, give them a payday, and send off two legends. Jose Aldo, like I said, is already in the Hall of Fame. Dominick Cruz, I forgot if he is, but he should be. Again, injuries ruined his entire career. Had he not had those injuries, I feel like he would be the quarterback GOAT in my eyes. Moving on. The fight we all want to see. Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall. I've made countless videos on this fight, right? But the thing about this fight, the thing about Jon Jones fighting Tom Aspinall, is that he's beaten Silgon, who had a really close fight with Francis. He did it way faster and by submission in the first round, while Francis went to decision. Then he did batter Stipe and all of those Stipe. But now, there's no doubt that Tom Aspinall will be next. I know Jon Jones is doing what he's doing in the media. I believe that's him just trying to get more money. And even Tom Aspinall agreed with him that he wants a payday for this fight. If I'm Tom, okay. I said this in my video talking about Aspinall, talking about the money. If I'm Tom Aspinall, and I know Johnny's getting 15 guaranteed, I want 7.5 to 10 guaranteed minimum. You're the interim champ. And with Tom Aspinall, the only loss he had was the injury loss to Curtis Blades. He has a very similar record and trajectory than Francis Ngannou did. Obviously, Francis Ngannou was undefeated up until his first fight with Stipe, and then we had that Derek Lewis fight that we pretend never happened because absolutely nothing happened in that fight. But this is a clear fight for the heavyweight belt, and like I said, for Jon Jones, if he beats Tom Aspinall already quitted the division. You know, it doesn't make much sense. I know Volkov is up there after being robbed. That would be an interesting fight because of Volkov's height. You got Sergey Pavlovich, who got beat by Volkov. You have Curtis Blades. Jolton Almeida, I believe, would be a threat in the grappling department. But again, I know Jon Jones said he's going to do 2 more fights and retire. I genuinely think he will do 3 and try and get the record for the most defenses at heavyweight, and we will come back to Jon Jones later on. Moving on, I feel like the best title, the best champ versus champ fight by far, skill wise, is Makhachev Poirier. I don't think you guys will disagree with that one, right? Makhachev being the number 1 pound for pound guy, he beat Volkanovski twice. He beat Poirier. He's facing Arman Tsarukyan, who he had a very close fight with in a few weeks. If he can get past Tsarukyan, which I believe he will, I believe he will finish Tsarukyan, because Islam Makhachev has evolved in a way that we wonder if Khabib would have evolved in. Because I remember that Conor fight, when Khabib rocked Conor and dropped him. That was the first real showcase of how good Khabib's striking can be. And then obviously he did the dog is standing thing of just strangling him. And yeah, but you have Ilia Topuria, who has become a mega star in the UFC, right? Especially in Spain, coming off of defeating 2 of the greatest featherweights to ever do it. You have Diego Lopez up there, who I believe should get the next fight. I heard that Volkanovski is going to get a rematch. I don't agree with it. I think that Volkanovski, if he is returning, should take a tune-up fight. Because going back into a fight with Ilia Topuria, one, I don't think anybody beats Ilia Topuria in the featherweight division. I really think the only people who have a chance, maybe Diego Lopez. I do think Diego Lopez is the one with the best shot. You have Movsar Evloev up there. Very boring fighter. And the rest of them he has either knocked out or they are just not in title contention. So, I believe that is the champ versus champ fight we want to see. I think Henry Cejudo hit the nail right on the head. This is the fight that would feed families. This is the fight that would show us who, maybe not, maybe you want to say Jon Jones is pound for pound, but by far the most skilled, right? Because you're going to find more skill in the lighter divisions than the heavier. I don't think anybody will disagree with that. Moving on. This is kind of one that I want to see, and I know that there are other fights and talks for them. I really want to see Brady versus JDM. I'm a big fan of both of these guys. Sean Brady only losing to the champion Belal Muhammad, somehow by knockout. Again, Belal couldn't finish a cheese and cracker sandwich, but he finished Sean Brady somehow. And then you have JDM, who I believe has some of the cleanest striking there is. The rumor has been that JDM will face Kamaru Usman, but I don't know about giving Kamaru Usman that fight. I think that the Walking Buckley fight makes more sense. Again, I'm a huge Buckley fan, you guys know that. But this would finally be a true number 1 contenders fight in a welterweight division that has not followed the rankings for the longest time. Like, Bilal Muhammad finally got his shot after basically being 8-0. His only, the only fight that he didn't win was a no contest IPO against Leon Edwards. Then he dominated Leon Edwards in the title fight. But, like I said, Colby Covington is out of the picture. He's never getting a title shot again. Kamaru Usman lost 2 title fights in a row. And then he lost to Hamza Chimaev in a really close fight at middleweight. But you gotta get these new guys in the race. You gotta build new stars. Kamaru Usman is over 35. And 35 seems to be that age where fighters hit the wall, right? They start losing. They start looking squalor. And just the fact that the sport evolves. And the sport will take you over. There's no way around it. It happens to everybody in the sport. No exceptions. Except maybe Khabib, GSP, John Jones. Like the absolute all-time greats who are anomalies. But, like I said, JDM, Sean Brady, let's finally have a real number 1 contenders fight at welterweight. Fresh faces. Let's see new faces get a shot at that belt. Next, and I will be double dipping here, with 2 fighters. You know, everybody agrees that Magomed Ankalaev is the number 1 contender. But I feel like everybody here will agree that his last fight was not impressive. Yeah, he did win it, clearly. But I'm not seeing this ultimate challenge that people think Magomed Ankalaev will be. He's not a wrestler. He has a worse takedown percentage than most of the people that Pereira has fought. Just because they're from Russia doesn't mean they're a wrestler. But I believe Pereira versus Hamza Chimaev makes the most sense. Now, we have the problem with Hamza Chimaev and who he's married to. He's not allowed to fight in certain countries. But you want to test out Alex Pereira's grappling, you do it against Hamza Chimaev. Well, why not throw him in against the defense? Again, Jamal Hill has wrestling. Yuri Prochazka has grappling. We saw Jan Blachowicz have a bit of success. Many people thought Jan Blachowicz won that fight. I believe that Pereira versus Hamza Chimaev either cements Pereira in a category that very few fighters will ever get into. And it has to do with the activity he's shown. It has to do with who he's doing it against. And he did face adversity in that Cole Roundtree fight. But he came back in those later rounds, got the finish, and he has broken every curse that has been put in front of him. Apart from Izzy in their fourth, yeah, no, that would have been, yeah, the fourth fight. But it makes no sense. I feel like Alex Pereira versus Hamza Chimaev would be the perfect entry into John Jones and Pereira. Granted, Pereira wins it. I also am curious. I really want to see the work that he has done with Glover Teixeira. Glover Teixeira being one of the best grapplers that I have ever seen at light heavyweight. Again, it was impressive seeing him win that title, and then I know Jamal Hill battered him. You know. Also, too, it wasn't like Glover, like, hit his stride later in his career. When Glover Teixeira fought John Jones, Glover at that time, I'm pretty sure he was undefeated. If not, he only had like one or two losses. And he looked like a monster. And then John Jones dealt with him. But you know, Pereira is the face of the UFC now. I believe Conor's done. And without Conor in the picture, after what Pereira did in 2024, I believe that he is only a few fights away. Granted, he wins them of being the greatest of all time with only a few years in MMA, not just UFC, in MMA, which is insane. Moving on, we're jumping back down to heavyweight. I have Ciryl Gane versus Jonathan Almeida. Ciryl Gane is coming off of that blatant robbery win against Pavlovich, and Almeida defeated Romanov in June. Ciryl Gane did show improvement in grappling in that Volkov fight. But I believe that Gane, he is 0-2 in title fights. He basically got back-to-back, he did get back-to-back title fights because Francis had his issues. He went to boxing, went to PFL. Then John Jones came in and submitted him instantly. Give him a grappler. I believe Jonathan Almeida is one of the best grapplers in the heavyweight division. I believe that he is right on the cusp of making it back to the top. He is ranked 6th. He did lose to Tom Aspinall, who obviously we know Tom Aspinall is next to John Jones, and John Jones is retiring. There's no in between. But let's see Ciryl Gane face some adversity. Let's see if Ciryl Gane can improve. Because from what if he is able to build on what he showed in the Volkov fight, even though again Volkov clearly won that fight in my opinion, Ciryl Gane can make it to the top again. He hasn't fought Tom Aspinall. That would be an interesting fight. I do favor Tom Aspinall though. So, let's see this fight. Let's test Ciryl Gane. Give him a break from the top fights. And give a guy like Jonathan Almeida the chance to make it to the top. Like I said, I would love to see him fight John Jones. But I do favor John Jones in that fight. Moving on, we're dropping back down to bantamweight. And by the way, I have no women's fight on here. There's like no interest in women's fights. I don't know. Juliana Pena, Kayla Harris. which is the next fight. But I mean, it's Juliana Pena. Like, she had one Mickey Mouse win against Amanda Nunes, then got battered in the second fight. Then bitched and complained to get a rematch. And then, in my opinion, Raquel Pennington won that fight. And that was a robbery. But anyways, at bantamweight, I want to see Sean O'Malley face Petr Yan in a rematch. We already have Merab and Umar going at it in a few weeks. Let's see Sean O'Malley rematch Petr Yan. I believe that Petr Yan won their first fight. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree, but it was a really close fight, and I would like to see it again. Sean O'Malley did get dominated by Merab. Yes, it wasn't the the funnest thing to watch, but again, that's Merab style. It's effective. It works. Merab is also one of the weirdest champions I've ever seen in my lifetime. Well, it's a gimmick. That press conference was, dear God. Like, I swear everybody at that press conference was like, alright, 310 was as exciting as a pack of saltine crackers. We gotta amp it up. And then you had Islam going off on Arman. You had Merab and Umar stealing the show, in my opinion. You had Nate Diaz showing up and throwing water bottles like he always does. But back to Petr Yan. I feel like this is the perfect time to do this fight. Petr Yan is coming off of a win against Deiveson Figueiredo. I thought he looked really good in that fight. And obviously, you guys know, the way he lost his belt was stupid. And then he clearly got beat in the second fight with Sterling. I say if he beats Sean O'Malley, it makes sense that he gets his title, his shot at the title again. For Sean O'Malley, I do believe he needs one fight. I don't believe he can get dominated the way that Sean O'Malley was dominated and get a rematch. I don't care how much of a star he is. Moving on, we have two more left. You guys know I had to film on this list. Buckley versus Usman. He called out Usman. I really like this fight. I feel like both of their styles match up well. We have seen Buckley wrestle. We know Buckley has power. We know that Usman is a wrestler. We know that Usman has power. A bit like why I want JDM and Brady. I want the old guard to phase them. I have nothing against Usman, but I think Buckley coming off of the Covington victory, getting the crowd to pick his fight, it makes a lot of sense. Obviously, we have Bilal and Shavkat next. Ian Gary, I'm not sure what you do with him. Maybe you give him to Buckley. Ian Gary did have a really good performance. But, again, I think it would be a good win for Usman. Well, yeah, it'd be a good win for Usman to come back, beat a contender, and show he's still at the top. For Buckley, though, you beat Covington, knocking out Wonderboy the way he did, and then you add Usman onto that, he is slowly building an insane record. Like, again, ever since he moved down to welterweight, he's undefeated. He looks fast, he looks big. You know, you would think with bigger muscles that would slow him down. His cardio is insane, and I like that he took the Demetrius Johnson approach of building his camp solely for him, not joining a super camp like American Top Team, like AKA, like all these other gyms. So, after Usman, Buckley, after Salt Capelal, I want to see Buckley get his title shot. You guys know my hot take of the year. Buckley will become champion in 2025. I genuinely believe that. Now, for the fight that I left for the very end, it is no other than Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira. I don't think I need to explain what this fight would mean. You know, I have them both on the list because, again, I genuinely believe these two are two of the three biggest names in the sport right now. With Conor out of the picture, I think you got Islam, you got Pereira, you got Jones, you got Topuria. We already talked about Topuria Islam. But, like, this fight is basically for the GOAT status. Right? For Jon Jones to beat Alex Pereira, a guy that has came in and sped around a Hall of Fame career. Like, people don't pay attention enough to the fact that Pereira has had a Hall of Fame career. 1 sec. Let me go. Alright. Like, Pereira has already had a Hall of Fame career within 3-4 years. So, I genuinely think that this is my most anticipated fight. This is a fight that I feel like will be the proper send-off for both of these guys. Two legends in combat sports. Two old legends. And, you know, I genuinely believe that Pereira's grappling won't be tested in light heavyweight. That's my opinion. But I gotta wrap this up here. I gotta go. Let me know in the comments what do you think about my anticipated fights. And let me know your anticipated fights. Would love to know. Other than that, I'm gonna go and get this uploaded. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Later.